one of the first things I realized when I entered the wine world was that it was a bit stuck in the past. The communication was a bit dusty, a bit boring. And so I just tried to kind of have fun with social media and develop viral strategies to create content and bring entertainment into wine rather than education. People don't want to be educated. If they want, they study or they go to a course or something. People are on their phones most of the time just to disconnecting their brain. So I was like, yeah, we should definitely engage with them in a more fun and entertaining way.
Welcome to the Italian Wine Podcast. This is the next generation with me, McKenna Cassidy. For the next episode, I invite you to explore with me what young adults are up to in the Italian wine scene. Let's feast on our discussion of Italian wine and culture. Grab a glass with us. Chin chin. My name is McKenna on the Italian Wine Podcast, The Next Generation, and I'm joined today by Alessio Inama. Welcome, Alessio.
Ciao, hello.
Thank you for being with us. For all of the listeners, you probably already know, but Alessio is a member of the third generation of that Inama family, famous for their wines from Soave, the Colli Berici, and the surrounding areas. They were one of the first families to really establish Bordeaux varieties in this part of the world and to make a single wine from Foscarino, which is what their Soave is for. So welcome, Alessio. It's like truly an honor to have you, and I'm really excited to hear from you about the next generation and all you're up to within it. Would you be so kind as to just introduce yourself, share kind of where you're calling in from today and your age, and just a little bit of background for everyone to get to know you?
I'm Alessio Inama, part of the third generation, and we are three brothers in the Inama family. It's what I call Inama 3.0, basically.
Nice.
The third phase of the Inama family. My grandfather put the basis, my dad had the idea and the vision, and now we are kind of the generation of details. But we do things a bit in our own way. We're a bit different how we do things. And let's say that among the three brothers, I'm definitely the black sheep. I'm allergic to pollen, so I cannot
Okay.
do vineyards, and I'm allergic to hard work, so I cannot be in the cellar. I never wanted to make wine. Actually, when I was 18, I wrote a letter to my dad saying that I would have never ever joined the family business or make wine at all. So I started something very different that kind of opened my mind on a lot of things.
Hello,
And
everyone.
it became more of a brain training. I got a degree in physics and then a master in mathematics. So very different from any kind of wine background. I've been working between London and Bangkok and New York as a business consultant.
Mm.
When I finally decided to go back to the family world, the wine world, it was because my family kind of tricked me. And they tricked me with my mom's food. That's how I'm here.
How did that happen? They said come for dinner and you got stuck, or what happened?
It's kind of a funny tale. I was working in Bangkok and I decided to quit my job. And my dad was in Tokyo for work. And he calls me saying, your mom told me that you decided to quit. What are you going to do? And I say, I'm going to Panama City. I got a new job offer there. And he says, I'm coming to Bangkok. I need to talk to you. And
Oh
he
my
came and
goodness.
said, why don't you come back for like a month or so? You've been out for a long time. Your mom misses you. And I say, well, I miss mom's food. So maybe I'm coming back for 1 month, and then I'm off
Okay.
again. And that month became like a change of life.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm sure she was happy to have you back, and
Mm-mm,
she was
yeah,
probably not trying to remind you
yeah.
that you had other plans. So, oh my
And then,
gosh,
of
that's
course,
hilarious.
I realized in a different age how cool it was, the job of wine, how interesting was the family project. I saw everything with different eyes. And they made me an offer that I couldn't say, no, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because they kind of, they tailored the perfect job for me. They offered me to travel around the world, drinking wine and meeting people. And I was like, maybe I can try to do that.
So you didn't have to be in the cellar. You didn't have to be in the
So,
vineyard. They offered you flights, travel, and food, and you were hooked.
yeah, I said, okay, let's try. And then
That's the move. For any of the listeners who follow Alessio on Instagram, Alessio, are very good at cataloging your adventures, or at least in recent history. I
Yeah.
mean, like windsurfing in Africa and all over Asia and South America. Do you just get like a kick out of this? Do you love it? And do you feel like connected to the wines doing it, or do you love the travel and the people more?
So first of all, I believe that my job is not really about selling, or because I do a lot of things. I manage like sales in 68 countries, so all the importers, all the agents, so all the strategies of growth. But communication, marketing, everything is involved, and the press, and also all the packaging, the labels. So it's a lot of work. But the thing that I love the most is really to share and be able to kind of create awareness about what Inama does in the area and raise the perception is the biggest part of my job. Really, like go around, do tasting, stay with people, kind of create a different perception of our wines, and taking the time to understand who are our ambassadors and who are our customers, and so it's a very key part of the job that we do is to take care of people. We are a family that is involved in every level of wine, so from the viticulture to the winemaking to being out doing sales, and we take care of everything. So it is really like, this is what we do, and we try to do it every day in a better way. One of the first things I realized when I entered the wine world was that it was a bit stuck in the past. The communication was a bit dusty, a bit boring. And I was coming also from a long background in the music industry as an event organizer and DJ. And so I just tried to, to start to have fun with it, with social media. And I pulled in my past experiences and started to kind of have fun with social media and develop viral strategies to create contents and bring entertainment into wine rather than education. Because sometimes everybody's like, oh, we need to do more wine contents to educate people. People don't want to be educated. If they want, they study or they go to a course or something. People are on their phones most of the time just to spend some time, disconnecting their brain. So I was like, yeah, we should definitely engage with them in a more fun and entertaining way. And that's how we started to do some things that were a bit crazy in the beginning. So like, I don't know, during COVID time, I had this idea. I was watching basically Peaky Blinders. Let's do a series called Peaky Winers. And me and my brother was dressed as Peaky Blinders, just doing stupid.
To make the
stuff.
connection, yeah.
Yeah, to make something just like something that you watch on your phone because it's fun and cool. And then at a certain point, we launched a new label, a new wine, a serious wine, an expensive wine. And I decided that the best way to launch it was to give birth to it. So I actually gave birth to a bottle of wine, like, so it was stupid. And
Is this video available on the
yeah,
internet?
it's on my Instagram and my Alessio Inama account. If you have to go back a few years, but when I show my idea to my brothers and my dad, they were like, "You're crazy. You're not gonna do this." And I was like, "I know it sounds crazy, but if we can do it with a good cutting, we're gonna make it." And the day after I'm gonna release that video, everybody will know we released a new wine, and that's how it works. It worked very well.
Wow. It's pretty awesome. So first of all, like a ton of boundaries broken here in a really positive light, and that your family gave you the freedom to act that way, I think is awesome. Like not everyone can act on those like crazy ideas they have, and you had the courage to do it, and clearly it was wildly successful. So that's awesome.
So yeah, sometimes, especially like the generational change can be complicated. Many families in many areas of production, not just wine. The reality is that my dad is also a very creative mind. Some people call him the Ozzy Osbourne of Italian white wine. So he's a very outspoken personality and a bit difficult somehow, but also like very bright mind and very proud of his own ideas. But when he saw that the three brothers were getting along, first of all, we were, yes, a bit crazy, but also like serious willing to work hard and to make things in the best way. He didn't kind of step in between. He never said, no, until I'm here, we do things my own way. He gave us a lot of freedom to express ourselves, to change also the style of some wines, and why not to change also the style of communication.
Yeah.
And Inama has this kind of a aura of like classic, neoclassic Italian style with the labels. And I'm
Yeah.
keeping, of course, that style. It's just we are putting our face in front. We are engaging with people in a different way, in a more direct way, in a bit
Yeah.
of a less presumptuous way that sometimes wine is. And just, we're having fun. And people are loving it because we're literally having fun. So,
They exactly. It's infectious as a result.
exactly.
Thanks for sharing that story. That's awesome. Yeah, it sounds like humor really brings like a joy to wine that makes it simple and you don't have to know all about it. You just have to be attracted to it and humor's the perfect way to do that. So, my friend is doing a Sopranos wine tasting here in Chicago and it's sold out and they had to add two more nights, 30 people at like different ticket prices. So to that point, like when you're looking at like young people in the wine scene, what do you see them struggling the most with to enjoy wine? Like, are they just confused about how to shop for wine? Do they feel like they have to understand wine to enjoy it? Or like, what's your advice to them to like feel comfortable with wine?
First of all, I believe that the worst thing that ever happened to wine is the sommelier. Wait, okay, this is very controversial, and of course, my customers are most of them are sommeliers, and I love my friends sommeliers. But at a certain point, wine became something complicated for people to understand. You have this person that is in between. They created a gap between producers and consumers. Started to to smell the wine, saying a lot of things, how it's made, what it tastes like, how you should pair a wine. And like, I see a lot of people around the world, and people grow up drinking Coca-Cola and pairing it with everything. So how can you go to people and say this is right, this is wrong? I believe that some pairings are better than others, but who am I to tell you what you should like, what you should taste, what you should smell, what you should feel? If you like a certain type of food and you like a certain type of wine and you want to match them, it's your freedom, have fun with it. So my idea is that we should somehow go back to be a bit more easygoing in terms of knowledge of what we know and just, have fun. Try different wines, pair it with whatever you want. I believe also that the world of natural wines has been very interesting in how they developed a very direct and simple communication. And they were the only ones who were really able to create a positive vibe among wine lovers of especially young age. Because they said a very simple message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not a fan of natural wines especially, but about just few of them. But I understand that the message was very clear. The style of communication was more easy. The style of the labels was more approachable and more artistic. And so they kind of cut a little bit a lot of presumptuousness. When people think about wine and they think about this person, the sommelier, that is like well dressed and comes to the table and tells you a lot of things, they're like, oh my God, it became even almost a joke. And I know there are some very good sommeliers that are really like helping to decide, helping to have a journey with food, but it has to be a game to play. It has to be something fun. It doesn't have to be educational. It has to be a fun and entertaining moment.
Do you consider Inama to be a luxury brand? And if so, do you see a tension between luxury and humor? And do you see like a concern including fun and humor with luxury brands? Like many luxury brands seem very like buttoned up. They're very precise in everything and part of their mantra is that. But I mean, your wine is poured on like Emirates business class. Like that's kind of like one of the height of luxury in the air, you know? And so this is proof that it can work.
Yeah,
So
no, absolutely. But we make serious wine. Okay, there's a crazy level of detail attention to make very serious wines. And is luxury? I don't know what is luxury. First of all, luxury, some people think is about price, and I don't believe we are that pricey. We are stepping up, but we are still like affordable. And anyway, we are a brand you can find around the world. It's not that complicated. You don't have to go to a three Michelin star restaurant to find Inama. But I like to think that Inama is both exclusive and inclusive. What is luxury? I don't know. I've been reasoning about this. It's just a perception. Is Louis Vuitton luxury? I don't think so. It's just expensive. but it's everywhere and it's for everybody. Exclusivity is important. If you go to a tailor in Napoli, that is luxury for me
Hmm.
because it's for few people and it's the real goodness of the materials and the attention to detail. But maybe it's not as expensive as some Gucci bag. And
Right.
and if you think about brands as Prada, they are not anymore that bottomed up. They became like very street style. And
Yeah.
so, what is the real luxury communication nowadays? I don't know. Like it's clear that even like rappers that they're not like that elegant, they are anyway like a model of luxuriness. But
Hmm.
everything I think is mixed at this point. The boundaries are very blurred, and
Hmm.
so we have to make something that the product is very good and very serious, and that the consumer can find the goodness, like the level of dedication behind. The bottle is beautiful, the style, the packaging, but then the way we interact, the way that we talk about the wine, the way that we create connections with our partners, it has to be for me very simple, very human, not
Hmm.
bottomed up. Because I mean, first of all, we are Italians and we like to embrace the noise and to be loud and be together. French people are much better than us at creating like the elegance in communication. But it's important to give value on one side, to be serious, to be dedicated. And when I do a masterclass, of course, I can go very in depth about saying how serious we are in what we do. But then I'm gonna put a lot of jokes inside and create like a fun conversation with an engaging conversation with the audience. Because at the end of the day, we are just having a glass of wine.
It's literally about wine. To that point, okay, let's go through a rapid fire questions. So, bridging the boundaries, making it fun. I think there's something there in both sides coming together. So, I think that was really well said. What's the best food and wine pairing that you had when you were in China recently?
China was fun, and I believe one of the best pairing I had. I mean, I love spicy food, and they have this area, this region of China called Sichuan, where they have this very spicy pepper,
Hmm.
and I love how the Sichuan pepper can pair with the spices of Carmenere. They
Mm.
really match beautifully. And our Carmenere, which is our red wine, is an ancient variety from Bordeaux that kind of was lost for a long time. Many people think it's present only in South America, but actually there is something called Italian Carmenere that is very different, a bit more elegant, a bit more clean and precise than the South American Carmenere. But these spices, this kind of incense, the black pepper, the white pepper, are really, really matching beautifully with the Sichuan cuisine.
Awesome. What's the best food and wine pairing you had in Africa?
Well, African food wasn't like the best. So we are actually having a bit of everything when we were there. I was in Kenya. I did a bit of safari, but also was on the coast doing some kite surfing. I will go here with a classic. I had Soave Classico and lobster.
Perfect. Soave Classico and sea salt. Yeah.
That's some grilled lobster that has that kind of a slightly sweetness, and with a fresh mineral Suave Classico was just like, this is life.
It's made for each other. Okay, not wine related. What's one of the most interesting things you've seen on your travels?
Well, I see a lot of interesting things and a lot of
I'm
weird
sure.
things.
I'm sure you do.
Bear in mind that I travel about 200 days per year all around the world. And I mean, of course, I see a lot of different cultures, but at the end of the day, the people are different, but all the same all around the world. Everybody is looking for the same things. But definitely, the most interesting thing is to meet people. I mean, you can take me to visit some sightseeing, to do some sightseeing, to understand the history, the art. But what I really love about traveling is that I get off a plane and I jump in the car of somebody who lives there. It takes me around to meet the local people to explain the wines, yes, but I'm absorbing the lifestyle and how these people think and reason and live. And if you are in Japan, if you are in Mexico, if you are in London or in south of Italy, everybody wants great food and great wine, but somehow there is something different in the way they experience
Mm.
everything. So it's fun.
What's your favorite cocktail when you're not drinking wine?
I drink a lot of tequila. But you know why? There's a medical reason behind it.
Oh, say more.
So traveling a lot, of course, sometimes I'm pretty tired and jet lagged, and I have to be up and fun and smiling from morning to night. And, maybe after a whole day visiting customers and talking about wine, I have a wine dinner with private people, and I'm always like, oh my God.
It's a lot.
And people, they look at me and they look tired. And they're like, do you want a coffee? And I'm like, that doesn't work. Give me some tequila.
Give me
Because
something. Yeah.
tequila is the only thing that makes me awake. It
Hmm.
really wakes me up. Of course, not much, just like one or two. Or
Yeah.
can be a shot or a margarita or a paloma, but
Yeah.
without exceeding, of course. But really, like, ah, I feel much better. Energies come back. I come back to life.
It's definitely kind of a breath of fresh air. I think it's one of the only spirits that's like an upper, not a
It's an
downer.
actor, but it has to be serious tequila. Please don't give me
Re-
any bad, cheap tequila, because that to me is gasoline.
That'll bring you down for
Yeah,
sure.
no, no.
Which Inama wine goes best with ramen?
Ramen, let's say Bradisismo. You know what's Bradisismo?
Yeah, the Bradisismo, I haven't had it yet because I can't find it in Chicago, but I keep seeking
Okay,
it out.
I can send you where there is Bradisismo in Chicago.
Okay, I thought you might be able to help me. I found those Soave Classico, but the other ones I can't find yet. Maybe you can tell me where to go.
Hmm.
Okay, good. What about peanut butter? Americans are obsessed with peanut butter, so
I mean,
like,
we don't really eat peanut butter in Italy, but if I have to think about something a bit sweet and a bit sticky, reminds me a bit of caramel, maybe, I don't know, nutty and a bit of
yeah.
I would go with Foscarino, one of
Mm,
our crews of Soave, that has the roundness, the richness, but also the salinity to kind of clean the palate.
nice. Okay, which Inama wine goes the best with sushi or sashimi?
Carbonare Soave, very refreshing, very vertical, a lot of acidity, just like refreshing, and
That sounds,
with the acidity of
yeah,
sashimi and sushi can pair perfectly. Yeah,
perfect. Rapid fire movie or TV show, but you don't watch TV because we're all very busy here. But yes,
just a
so
few, just a few. Yeah.
let's think of Inama Suave. Like, what pairing for like a Netflix show would you put with it?
My own Netflix show.
Just cue up the giving birth to the bottle and then grab your glass of Suave. Yeah,
No, I would say Big Bang Theory,
nice. It's bright. It's funny. It's good.
fresh,
Fresh humor.
is fun but smart.
Well said. Big Bang Theory. There you have it. What about carbonara? How would you describe that wine through a show or a movie?
Squid Game,
More intense. That's deep, Alessio. Season one and season two, or
season one.
season one? Okay, committing to season one of Squid Game for carbonara. What about Oratorio di San Lorenzo?
So oratorio is like the contrast between sacred and profane, is serious but depraved. I will go with Peaky Blinders.
There you go. Yeah. It all comes back together. That's
Yeah,
awesome. I'm so excited to try these wines. You've given us such a vision of the vibe of them without even having tasted them through what we already know and love. So that was awesome. Alessio, we've met our time. Is there anything else you want to share with the listeners today?
drink and have fun.
Drink and have fun.
Not drink like for drinking and getting drunk, but to share moments, to stay with people is the best possible way. I think like we're in a moment where everything is a bit like reshaping, and as Italian, I can tell you, you finish the work, have aperitivo with your friends, share a bottle of wine, and share fun stories and good moments. That's the best.
Here's to that. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Grazie a voi. Thank you so much.
Tante grazie. Thanks so much for being here with me today. Remember to catch our episodes weekly on the Italian Wine Podcast, available everywhere you get your pods. Salute.